right, guys, we are back. Welcome back. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Blow podcast, episode 337. Adam Richmond. This is going to be the first show of the new year, Adam. I'm pre-taping, buddy.
Oh, no. So I have to pretend it's a different year? I can't do this.
Yeah, pretend it's 1987.
I'm not an actor. I'm a comedian, Brandy. You got to warn me about this stuff before I come on your show. It's a lot of pressure. There's a whole different year. I have to pretend it's 2023. I don't know what's going to happen to me in 2023. Maybe I won't even make it.
Yeah, odds are, based on your lifestyle, I'd say no.
Thanks, Randy. Hope my girlfriend doesn't watch this.
Cheers,
what
brother.
lifestyle? Cheers.
So a little sacrament for the new year.
You say that because when you buy me drinks at your show,
exactly.
That's my lifestyle. I told Randy I have a free drinking problem.
I hear that, man. Dude, I feel like if there's a fucking open bar and you don't get drunk, you're wasting.
It was an open bar at the improv party. I didn't even go to the bar. People were bringing me shots. It was just way too much alcohol the other night.
I mean, that's one of the things. Like I do judge people if I go to their wedding and they don't have they have a cash bar.
Oh, are you kidding?
What kind of a fucking animal invites people to their wedding that doesn't have a full open bar?
Non-Jews. Is that a good answer for you? I mean, because I've never been to a Jewish wedding with a cash bar. Sorry to cause stereotyping right away. Let's get on that. Let me actually say this.
Yeah, speaking of Jews, is Hanukkah going right now?
Right now,
are we in it?
This is day three.
What do you get on day three? Like a dreidel?
I play with my dreidel every day. Oh, you mean? Oh, sorry, that's a lot of too much information. No, it's day three. You're supposed to get a present every day, but it's not really. We don't really celebrate it like that. I remember as a kid there was more ceremonial getting presents.
There was always more of that. I feel like the whole Christians through the whole holiday season, like it's for children. Yeah. As an adult, I don't give a shit.
They were talking about not.
I don't give a fuck.
Someone did a post about not telling kids that their presents come from Santa, because then they go to school and like the richer kids that get like a Mac. MacBook Pro or something. Look what I got. I an iPad or something. I got an iPad. I was given from Santa, and the poor kid's like, I got a ball.
That's pretty funny.
So Santa loves you more.
That is pretty funny that
So
Santa knows the class system, and somehow rich Santa gets better gifts, and poor
It's
Santa.
a funny thing to complain about, right? Because then you're saying, well, it's I guess another thing where someone's the victim status. I do get it psychologically, where it's just the point is tell the kids that you got them the present. It's not.
Don't lie to your children, I think is the point.
You can tell them that Santa exists to a certain point, but unless someone's listening that's underage, Santa does exist.
And he's white, according to Megyn Kelly.
He's probably Jewish.
Dude, I saw the wildest thing. So there's different Santa traditions in different countries. And in the Scandinavian countries, I think particularly Norway and Sweden, and I want to say Holland, the Dutch do this. Santa has a little helper called Black Pete. And it's a white guy in blackface who's supposed to be his like elf slave. I swear to God. This is a true thing.
I don't know if that would fly in America.
No,
day and age.
no, but they're trying to the Dutch are trying to like erase it from the internet. Like,
yeah, just like Sarah Silverman and Jimmy Kimmel in blackface. It's like all that stuff. It's totally allowed. Yo, we're not racist though, bro. I love Christmas music. How I think if you sing some of the songs in a different tone, takes on a whole different meaning. It's such sweet songs. Like you better watch out, you better not cry, but do this. You better watch out. You better not cry.
You sound like Candyman.
You better not put up telling you why. Long Christmas.
It's true, dude.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Fucking creepy.
Get the fuck out of my room, Uncle Kevin.
Dude, think about that. What if like a fat white guy just like like if you're in the South, the idea of a fat white liberal giving out free gifts sounds like you're going to shoot that guy.
Yeah.
You're breaking into your house, going to your kids with free presents.
He comes into your chimney, climbing in. Get the fuck up. That's it. In today's news, Santa gets killed by 3 Texans by sneaking into their chimney in Dallas. Sorry, at 11. All right. Also, this news I was going to say about there's lots of rise of anti-Semitism, which is just hysterical to me. Like
I feel like it hasn't gone anywhere.
Well, I'd rather be in the forefront. Like I never mind when someone goes, "Oh, can you believe what Kanye said?" It's like good that Kanye said that. Let him say it. Now he just buries himself. Sounds like an idiot.
That is true. I mean, there is the point at which you will get canceled if you cross the threshold, and he jumped over it.
You can say free speech is you can say I don't like the Jews. You can't say kill the Jews. You see the difference?
Yeah.
It can't wish violence on you, but you can say stuff. It's not illegal to be racist. People need to know that. Like,
yeah.
it's not illegal. You can be, it's immoral. Someone might not like black people or Jewish people or Asian people, whatever.
Yeah, and they'll have no friends and they'll be shunned.
No, they'll have friends, other white supremacists, you know? Other Texans. Come on, man.
They're going to be hanging out with their friends in the bush doing military exercise in rural fucking Idaho.
But you realize it's all from stupidity, you know? It's
Ignorance,
it's not really.
I mean, I said that the other day. I was talking to a buddy of mine, like, it's, the rule is, you can believe whatever you want, and I have to respect your right to believe it. But I can think your beliefs are stupid. You know, I was talking about that in reference to like the super religious, whether they're Islamo-fascists or hard right, Christian conservatives. Like, all right, you're absolutely allowed to believe that, and I'm absolutely allowed to think it's the dumbest thing I ever heard of.
Totally.
And there's nothing. It doesn't make me an asshole for believing. Also, and it doesn't make you wrong for believing.
And everyone's entitled. You're allowed to be who you're going to be. You just can't be violent. You can't, do whatever you want. My whole life philosophy is mind your own business. As long as you're not hurting anyone, stealing from them, or trying to kill them, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
That's true. I love minding my own fucking business.
Isn't it nice?
It's just when I only focus on my own problems. It really makes
just
me,
the discussion of sexuality. We all start talking about other people. Like, who gives a shit? Do what you want to do. You want to suck a dick or cut off your dick? My name is Paul. That's between y'all. I am going to make fun of it a little bit because it's hysterical to me. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. You should be allowed to make fun of anything.
Well, the way you treat people equally is to make fun of everybody. Isn't that what humor is?
Sure. And look, if they don't like it, they don't have to pay for your shows. There's a lot of people who don't buy tickets to the show. Be one of those people.
If you don't like it, don't watch it, don't read it, don't buy it, don't eat it. Pretty fucking simple. Just wait. What do people do? Wait to get offended now? Like waiting on their computer to send, I'm a
Yeah, the exact analogy is like I like vanilla ice cream, you like chocolate. I want to cancel chocolate ice cream. It's like, no, man. Like, I just don't have to eat the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like organized religion, so I don't go to church anymore. I don't begrudge anyone getting up early on a Sunday and going.
People will eat the chocolate just to be upset with something.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
They're not minding their own business. Like you're sticking your nose just to get pissed off, to know you're going to get pissed off. Like, you don't like it, and you're going to the show to complain.
Well, it's like a victim depth chart. Yeah. I've been doing this joke on stage. Like after I do if I was a fat Asian lesbian in a wheelchair. You know the bit. If I was a fat Asian lesbian in a wheelchair, I'd be so offended. I'm so famous right now. If I was a transgender Muslim midget, I'd be offended. Go, what do we have? A victim depth chart? We start giving out things based on your victim status. Like, okay, do we have any one-eyed vegan Filipino amputees with acid reflux?
It's a Hollywood call sheet nowadays.
Some guys actually, bick me.
I don't understand the joy people get from getting offended, though. Like they seem to relish in it. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, it's people get offended are not working on themselves. They're not accomplished enough. They're not doing things that make them happy enough. Where they're so worried about what somebody else is doing. It's got to be a thing. Like it's got to be a word for it. You know?
Yeah,
victimese.
I know. It's like an S&M type thing. They like to. It's like having a toothache and you flick it with your tongue. You know, like
you like the pain.
Yeah. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Can't get enough.
Yeah, it's like a victim kink.
Yeah,
a victimhood kink. I think is what it's called.
And is victimization. Like I said, as a Jewish person,
make no mistake, there are people who are victims of crimes who have been assaulted. Like
I'm a victim of things.
But someone hearing a joke they don't like at a comedy club is not a victim.
Yeah,
it's just an upset customer who didn't like the show.
Yeah, I don't like people feel bad for you. You know,
I hate that. I hate when people make a fuss about me.
Yeah, like I don't.
Like, are you okay? You feeling all right? I'm fine. I'm fine.
I don't like sympathy.
Yeah.
I really don't.
When I'm sick, I like to be left alone.
Totally.
Sympathy, you know what I'm saying? I don't like people doting on me.
Sure, sympathy for real things. Something happens to you, but like
if somebody in your life dies, God forbid.
Feeling bad for you. I don't know. I like to solve my problems, I guess. So. But the real victim, like talking about, the Jewish thing, I'm not going to harp on this, but like Kanye was talking about Jews running Hollywood. Well, I got news for you guys, for anyone watching. Jews do run Hollywood, okay? And the reason we run Hollywood is because in the 1910s and 20s and 30s, it wasn't cool to be a Hollywood executive. So the Jewish people were only given jobs that were unsavory. And at that point, being a Hollywood person was an unsavory job. But then we did what we do. We Jewed it up and made it awesome. And now you're pissed off that Hollywood is the juggernaut that it is right now. So basically your anti-Semitism created the Jewish Hollywood, and now you're pissed off about it.
Dude, that's how it happened with banks.
Yeah?
Because, back in the day,
are you kidding?
Christians and Muslims were not allowed to lend money at interest. So banks were set up by Jews because they were allowed to charge interest.
They were allowed. That's why they run the money.
It's the whole reason
they run the money. They were allowed that.
Yeah, they were given that profession because no one else wanted to touch a tawdry thing of lending money.
Do you know how many Nazis end up dying because they killed all the doctors? Yeah, they killed all the Jewish doctors. They're like, oh my, I've got this rash. Oh my God, my leg. That's the Jewish doctor. Oh shit, we shouldn't have killed him, Hans. We probably should have left one alive. Just found you. Also, by the way, this is great. This is my favorite line for anyone listening. I know how to solve anti-Semitism. It's pretty easy.
What's that?
All we got to do is come together as a people and decide to just stop being totally fucking awesome.
The Jews,
right? I mean, let's be honest. You don't hate the Jews for like our religious beliefs and what we think. You don't like us because we're doing okay. I mean, not me personally, but we're doing okay.
He's a shame to the Jewish community, but every other Jew.
But I have access to other money in case.
Yeah. My family are good Jews.
Yeah, and I haven't had a real job in 25 years. Or sorry, ever.
Nice work. What's your favorite Jewish joke? Like Jewish street joke, like mocking the Jews.
Really?
There's so many good Jewish jokes.
Well, a lot of them are about, a lot of the Jewish jokes, this is actually a good question. A lot of the Jewish jokes are about, like old school Jewish humor is about complaining, like the old European, like we escaped from something, we had to travel across the desert, we made it, let's eat. It's basically just, but there's, this is my favorite bit, is there's an old Jewish man gets deserted on an island, okay? And he's stuck there for like 10 years. But during his time, he uses the wares of the island and his skills, and he ends up building 2 immaculate synagogues side by side. They are perfect, they are stunning, they are exceptional. And finally, after 10 years, a boat comes by and he's rescued. And as they're pulling him on board and about to sail off and take him back to civilization, they say, listen, before we go, we need to know, how come if there's only one of you, there's 2 synagogues? He goes, well, for this one, I go pray. And this one, I would never step foot in. Right? It's great because it's like he needed to create something
that he hated. Yeah, exactly. You need to trash the other synagogue that he doesn't contribute to.
Hey, this one doesn't do it for me. This one's so beautiful. Every Sunday we dance for this one, though they shun me.
I would say Jews, because of their history in show business, and because of, frankly, just the fact that anti-Semitism was funny for so many years. There's probably more.
It's still funny, Randy. Son of a bitch.
I know.
Anti-Semitism was hysterical.
No, I think there's more Jewish street jokes than any other race.
Yeah.
That gets mocked.
Well, we were the original Catskills comedians. We're old, what was it? Henny Youngman, those dates. That's where comedy came from, which is actually funny because I actually feel that so many comedy clubs are not kind of stroking the Jewish side these days. I see so many shows with no Jewish. There's a Hanukkah show. There's a Hanukkah show tonight in Beverly Hills at a synagogue, and I posted something on it, and I messaged a friend of mine that was
6 black comics.
One guy named Menachem. He's like an Orthodox Jewish guy, and he's not even a comedian. He's an amateur comedian. Then another comedian who I think is mediocre, and he's like half Hispanic. And then there's 4 people, 2 Muslims, an Asian girl, and a black guy on a Hanukkah show.
They're even booking Hanukkah shows like that, huh?
That's what I mean. It's a Hanukkah show. You can't find 6 Jewish comedians. Like, I'm available. I mean, not tonight because I'm
bring it back to him. Bring it back to.
No, but why wouldn't you find? I know other comedians. If you,
well, it's fucking LA. You think there'd be 1,000 Jewish comics available?
I think there used to be more, and it just like that's the thing. And now there's so much with the diversity thing.
Yeah.
Every comedy show now has got a black guy, an Asian guy, Middle Eastern guy, Filipino guy, and 3 women.
I have a theory. I feel like at some level, just putting comics up for diversity's sake is not only quote unquote unfair to the people who've worked to earn some of those spots, but I think it's also unfair to the people that you're giving the opportunity to before it's their time. I feel like it almost stunts their growth.
What are they doing in stand-up? All these women are getting jobs.
Yeah, they start thinking like, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. It's like, well, you're not good enough. And then you show up and they give you a headline spot and you eat your ass, and you feel horrible, and the club never books you again.
I know many strong female comedians.
Yes, I know tons.
I know way more stronger male comedians. It's just a numbers game. It is what it is. You can be mad at me all you want.
No, those are the numbers.
But nowadays, I've seen all these young girl comedians who are really no skills, have been doing it for like 3 years, get all these shows because they need like an Asian girl or a Middle Eastern girl. And I mean,
but I think it's unfair to that comic too.
I think it's unfair.
It's stunting their growth.
It's unfair to the audience. Yeah. Don't you want a great comic? I want someone who's great. That's it. I don't care. Yeah. It's like anything, medicine. Like I don't care the color of my doctor. I want someone who's skilled.
And it's also unfair to the other female comedians who are good, who aren't getting that spot because the best comedian should be working the most, right? So the best female comedian should be booked solid every night. Right, but sometimes she can't get it because, like, oh, we had her last week. We got to get a new girl this week. Let's get this so and so from an open mic. It's like, well, she's not ready, and you're cheaping out on work on the woman who is ready to do that role. It's not like there's
you can't fake it.
Yeah, it's not like there's plenty of funny female comedians. There's not as many female comedians as men, and forcing females to be put in roles where it's before their time is harmful.
This is also a topic, like you talk about men are as funny as women are just as funny as men.
People are funny.
People are funny. Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. If you're funny, you're funny. I know many funny comedians. My sister's hysterical. She's not a comedian. I know many funny people.
My favorite comedian right now is Jessica Kirson. She's fucking hilarious.
She's very funny.
She's very funny.
Very funny.
But
she's been working at it also for a long time.
30 years doing it. She's a 50-year-old lesbian woman. She wasn't hot enough for TV.
But she's also got that bravado.
Yeah. She owns the stage. She crushes.
And that's what's important. But it's her persona is she owns that, and that's what I like. She's not timid, and you can't be timid as in comedy.
Yes.
But what I think though is let's do it. It's like a math thing. It's not the men are better than women or funnier than women. It's that we work at it differently. Like a couple things.
Well, more of us attempt it.
Well, a couple things. Yeah. Like first of all, when you were young, when you were a kid, and like you're trying to get girls, what was some advice from someone older to say, how do you get a girl?
If you weren't the tall athlete, you had to be funny.
Be funny.
That was it.
So all my friends were funny. We were all trying to get girls, and the way to make a girl interested in you is make them laugh. It was huge. There was a couple kids that were like the funniest looking guys, but got tons of girls because they were hysterical.
Dude, I looked this up. I actually looked that up. Men attempt humor 6 times as often as women.
There it is.
Like in day-to-day life.
So like I said,
because we're trying to impress women. Yeah.
And what do they say to girls? Do you think girls have to be funny in order to get a guy? What do girls need to do? What'd you bring? My vagina. That's all you need.
I've said it 1,000 times, Adam. Men will date an absolute loser who brings nothing to the table as long as she's hot.
Yeah.
Women will not. But
then it's better when they're funny. My girlfriend's hysterical.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, you look for it. Yeah. I mean, it's a relief, and also dating a funny woman allows you to be funny. Like she accepts your humor, and guys like us. I mean, you and I are the same way. We'll say the wrong thing at the wrong time just for the joke. And it'll piss a lot of people off, but that's what we do.
And there's some
you
girls
have to get a girl
who
has a good sense of humor and give it back because she has to put up with me.
Yeah. And if you're funny, what do you want? Someone who's not going to be laughing at your jokes or something? Here's another thing. Also, when you're starting out, notoriously stand-up people start like early 20s. Let's say
I started
graduate.
Late, yeah.
Okay, well, but let's say I started 22, 23.
23, yeah.
So that's it. You graduate
year,
college. I'm going to make an attempt. If it lasts, you go on. If it's not going to work out, you're done by 25, 26. You realize there's tons of people I still see that occasionally do it, but they never really took it seriously. I took it seriously since I started, so this is why I've been working for over 20 years. The point is, so let's say you're a father, okay? And my daughter's like, I want to be a stand-up comedian. You'd be like, and I'm going to go on the road with Randy and Adam. He's in his 30s. He's in his 40s. We're going to go on the road to up Northern California and Oregon, and we're just going to be on the road for. And your father's like, no, you're not. You're not going on the road. Dude, you're not going on the road with these two guys.
I never really thought about that.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous out there for us.
I never thought about that, Adam. 100%. That's a great point because.
And then they don't want to do it.
That's a big part of the business.
I understand, and
rightfully so.
If you're listening to this, ladies, don't get me wrong. I understand why you wouldn't do that. It's fucking dangerous.
Uncomfortable, yeah.
You can't trust people, and we can't trust people. I've had issues happen with crazy people on the road, like tons of times, because you can't trust people. So I wouldn't want my daughter going out there who's doing it at 22, 23.
23-year-old daughter going.
And then maybe there's people that will do it, and they find themselves the right environment. They get the right headliner that takes them, and they get to go there and feel comfortable, and they get to grow, because that's how you grow. You got to go on the road and get good. Yeah. And there's some people I knew that never went on the road, got tons of specials, and now they just book like clubs because,
dude,
they're
there is something about being on the road that makes your comedy broad, and you get to learn how to deliver it to everybody.
Imagine if your audience was only LA people.
Oh my God, dude! I would hate your material.
The wokest people in the world. You're going to do comedy just for woke people?
Well, not even. They're just fucking uptight. They don't even know what funny is. I mean, like they can't laugh at themselves in this town.
Do people actually admit they're woke? Like, do people actually admit with a straight face
they used
that
to,
you're
dude.
woke?
I remember when woke went from. So woke started out like in the black community talking about, staying aware, right? And then woke became liberals saying, "Oh, I'm woke," being like proud of being woke. Like, I'm not racist. I'm woke. And now woke it was mostly used by more right-leaning people who are tired of
making
woke
fun of
people.
them, yeah.
Who, you know, oh, these are woke.
What is it?
LA's woke, how to leave.
You woke up one morning, realized you've been a racist your entire life, and now you're changed, and you want us to give you credit for that? Like, oh no, I'm now going to be so much nicer to my maid Consuela from Mexico or Guatemala or Costa Rica. I don't know, one of those Mexican countries.
You see that in LA all the time. It's a white liberal woman, just her kids are raised by a Guatemalan lady.
Yeah.
Talking about how woke she is. You know, we pay her well. Oh, pat on the back for you, Susie.
I find that if people are going to comedy club, overall, people are ready to laugh. But in LA, if ever I'm having a show and I look out in the audience and anyone's not enjoying it, it's always like a mid-20s white girl, a mediocre white girl who's done nothing in her life. She hasn't contributed anything. Someone wrote, I was on a cruise ship and some 22-year-old British girl complained about, he was marginalizing black people and transgender. First of all, she didn't say black. She called them colored people. So who's the fucking racist here? Meanwhile, my joke is, hey, I was talking to this black lady, how I love black women because they're my favorite audience members. Because
they're the best.
They laugh like they're stabbing each other. Like, oh, what happened to Lakeithia? Oh, we went to comedy club. She's in critical condition. And she had a blast. The one lady was having a blast. Someone got offended for her, which is commonplace.
I just said that yesterday I actually had a guest on yesterday. You cannot be more offended than the victim in the joke. Like, if a black person's laughing at the joke, a white woman shouldn't be mad at the joke that the comic made
100%.
about black women. You know, like you can't be more upset than the butt of the joke.
And one thing I've learned about Black America is they appreciate the truth. Honestly.
Oh.
Most people I've met, especially going to comedy club, I don't think I've really ever had an issue with any black person at a comedy club.
No, they don't complain.
No, because they understand
They've got real problems, and comedians aren't one of them. You know, like,
don't we all have real problems?
That's what I'm saying, though. Like they know you telling jokes isn't the problem.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's being goofy. That's
so another
look at a silly Jewish man up there.
Someone complained about my transgender. I have a transgender joke where I'll make fun of transgender people because, like I said,
he is transgendering.
Well, the way treat people equally is to make fun of everybody. If you want in on life and equality, then you get made fun of as everybody else. I think you're a person. Everyone deserves a right to life. Nobody's better than anybody else. That's where equality is.
Yeah.
Not equality of outcome, you know?
Well, it's a lot of it, like I said, like you said, it's not about being equal anymore, right? If Martin Luther King Jr. was alive today, they'd call him an Uncle Tom. You know, because he'd be like, oh, he wants his black daughter to play with a white girl. Oh, he ain't black enough, that Martin Luther King. That's what they would say in this day and age. But the reality is, I mean, that's equality.
If there was real
equality is a race blind setting.
For sure,
right?
it's stupid.
Like your color, the color of your skin should be as interesting as your hair color. You know, like I should think less of you because you're brunette or blonde. Like,
listen, there are definite stereotypes we can all succumb to, and people have it.
And some of them are fun. I mean, we have here. You want to hear my favorite Jewish joke?
I can't wait for
It's a
this.
good stereotype.
It's a good time to be racist. Coming next.
Yeah, my
show.
What do you call a cash register?
My grandfather.
A Jewish piano.
You see, about Jews having money. I don't have tons of money.
But people are like, that's anti-Semitic. I'm like, first of all, that's saying Jews have money. And I don't think any Jew would be disappointed if they say, hey, I got some money.
I didn't like the words of that joke. I'm actually anti-semantic.
Anti-semantic, there you go.
Well, here you go. So so that's what I believe. I believe that everyone deserves a chance at life. Nobody's better than anybody else. And I'm originally Canadian, in case people were wondering. I moved to this country for it to be a merit-based society. So watching it become not that I'm not interested in that. I want America to be that way. Yeah. If you're not good, you don't play. If there was real equality, then I should be able to go to the Lakers, start a training camp and say, oh, this little Jewish guy, I want to play.
They try out.
You can't not let me play. I don't care. You don't have a white Jewish player on your team? Well, that's racist. You got to let me play.
Yeah, you don't see the diversity quota in the opposite direction. No. You don't see anyone saying these NBA teams don't have enough white guys on them.
Totally.
We need at least 59% white people on NBA teams. So that's 59% of the population of the United States is white. 59% of the NBA teams should be white. You don't see that happening. It's always the other direction.
Well, the NHL had an article a couple weeks ago about how white the NHL was, which is so pathetic.
Of course, because it's fucking cold and nobody plays it.
Right. But you know what the irony is? It's more diverse now than it ever has been. It's got more.
It's never enough, Adam. It's never enough.
The guy who's fourth in the league in scoring is a Filipino guy from Los Angeles. His brother also plays on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The guy who led the league in scoring last year, Austin Matthews, 60 goals, is Mexican from Arizona. Okay, so like they don't They don't push that because they don't care, because they want it to be about the game itself, not
Yeah.
about. And there's also probably an African American player on almost every
But
team.
that's another question that I have about it. And look, and like I know, and my listeners know, I consider myself a more liberal guy. I think the idea of liberal has moved way off from what it used to be. But no one asked the question: when is it enough? Then, what is this Shangri-La that you see? What is the right amount of diversity in every workplace? No one's giving me any numbers on this.
Oh, well, my answer,
how many
is,
female comics do you want?
Yeah.
Tell me how many.
I
you
think
want.
my answer is
Nobody has an answer.
Some of these people, and what we've learned in America, some of these people don't want to work. They don't want to put in the effort. America's made it too easy for some people.
Oh well, dude.
So they want
that's a big part.
socialism.
We have a lot of. We love to complain. The fact that we have the free time to complain in this country is a luxury most other people in the world don't have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we bitch and moan about who goes to what bathroom and whether or not a girl can play this sport in high school. It's like, dude, girls in Saudi Arabia are getting their clits sawed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have real problems in other countries.
You've seen
only here do we have to fucking worry about these things. Like, dude, women are getting hung in Iran right now for protesting, wearing a headscarf, and we're bitching and moaning like, how many female comics should we have on the show? It's like, dude, there's bigger problems. Like,
well, that's what I when I make my joke.
What is the answer you want?
I make my joke about feminism. I go like female empowerment. Like, when did you lose your power?
Yeah.
Like I'm from a family of 13 Jewish women. I've been fighting for my equality all my life.
Yeah.
And then like I say, you want to really take this battle, like move to the Middle East, ladies.
Yeah.
Like, they just allowed women to drive in Saudi Arabia last year. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even think about it here. Like everything a man does in his life is to impress a woman. So it's not like you think Jeff Bezos wants to be a billionaire so his boys are. He's trying to get pussy.
And I think he's already gotten it.
Yeah. I mean, he left his wife for a younger gal. I mean,
Of course he did. There's an expression though, Randy. Have you ever heard this?
Which is also funny. The richest woman in the world got her money from divorce.
I know, right? And that's hysterical. There you go. Congratulations, feminism, female empowerment. I will say, my women. I do this bit because my girlfriend's so smart. But it's like, it's year 2023 coming up. I know this isn't popular to say, but I am absolutely down for denying women equal education. Absolutely. I mean, you're already so smart and intelligent. Then we give you guys thoughts and ideas and books. It's just not working out, ladies.
You already got a head start.
My girlfriend.
We're dumb enough. Men are dumb enough as it is. We need them way back.
Totally. Enough.
We need the head start.
My girlfriend says things to me, Randy, in the middle of a conversation, in the middle of an argument. I have to pretend to be offended and go in the other room and Google what the fuck she just said to me. Like, you know what? Just give me a second. I need to reevaluate. I don't want to react in anger and emotion. Just hold on. I'll just come back in 2 seconds. I'm like, Neanderthalic narcissist with a sociopathic disorder. And I'll just come back
with
and
a touch of narcissism.
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, my girlfriend wrote that joke, so fuck you.
You can take it. She's not on stage.
Yeah, for sure.
What does your girlfriend do?
Right now, she was working. She was working for a charity before. She's been a reporter. She was a child actor.
She's not in show business, though.
No, she was in show business. And she was working for a producer for a couple years and trying to make some movies. But is one of these guys that just kind of want to make some money off of everything he does, but is not really trying to actually put something out there.
Yeah,
she kind of learned that halfway through. It's like, welcome to show business.
I feel like it's difficult. I heard this. I forget a comic was saying it. Might have been Bill Maher, but he was like, you can't have two headshots in a relationship. Like if two people are in show business, it usually doesn't work out right. So
they both have to be successful. Thankfully, I'm not successful, and she's also not.
So you got to go both ways.
I'm not unsuccessful. I mean, I'm doing this podcast on a Tuesday afternoon.
You know, where so you started in Toronto. When did you move to LA?
I've been here 20 years, man.
So you're fucking local as local.
Yeah, I'm now Californian, sure. I'm not Canadian, eh?
Are you thinking about becoming a citizen or no?
Yeah, I have my green card now for a couple years, so now I can start applying for it.
Okay, and does that cost like money?
Yes, it
like
does.
I heard
Sorry, let's get into
living in the United States is incredibly expensive. Like getting to the United States as a resident is incredibly expensive.
One of my biggest problems right now.
Yeah.
Forget about politics. I don't care what your fucking politics are. They're all terrible. But open borders. What? Please explain that to me. Please, somebody, come to me and tell me what the benefit is of open borders besides the Democrats trying to load up on these immigrants that might eventually vote for them. Because I see no value.
That is the weird thing too. That's not even like they can vote.
Well, they can. Well, that's the path to citizenship.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what I'm saying.
Oh, and they think they're going to remember the Democrats are the ones who opened the door for them?
That's a whole other conversation.
Which is ridiculous.
But I mean, open board. You know how hard it is to get to the United States. Like I had to go through all the process, lawyers, fees, money,
and you speak the language. Totally. And you already speak the language.
And it was difficult to get. So to watch people just be able to jump the border and enter the country, I'm not into that.
Well, like I was telling you in the car ride over, it's also unfair to the people who are getting stranded at the border.
Yeah.
Like there's millions of them just sitting in detention centers, not knowing what the fuck.
But nobody's aware because these mainstream
it's
media,
inhumane to leave them there. Like do something.
Mainstream media does not want to show it. Like bless Fox News at this point. Sorry for all you crazy lefties out there that don't want to watch the news, but Fox will at least put on people putting footage. You don't have to agree with Tucker Carlson,
I'll tell you
but
what,
he puts the guy at the border who's showing you actual footage of hundreds of people sleeping on the ground of the El Paso airport. Like, I don't know what kind of budget they got to hire those extras to film it, but
yeah, the crisis actors.
It's fucking real, you know?
I like, one of the things about it though too is just the idea of like not watching the other side's news. It's like, dude, watch I want to know where the story is. And that's one of the, I took a big break after the last election. I'm not a big newsy, but you follow. It's hard to avoid. But
you need to be aware of what's going on.
But that's why like I'll go back and forth between CNN and Fox News because what I like seeing is the stories that each doesn't report on. Like so Fox will bring up the border, and CNN will bring up something Fox is not bringing up.
Right.
It's like, well, all right, well, why aren't you bringing up the other side of this story here? Like I want to see what's missing from either side.
Why do they? Well, right now, why do they make it not a big deal? Like CNN poo-poos this Twitter thing with Elon Musk because it doesn't fit their narrative. Because they.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think the election was like physically someone took the ballot to change that.
Yeah, but Fox did the same thing. Fox
it.
didn't air the January 6th hearings, and because that doesn't fit their narrative. But both sides have a narrative, and I feel like you have to watch both to get the missing piece of the puzzle that the other side's not showing you. That's like the same thing like with the Hunter Biden thing. Like I had to go to Fox News to hear about Hunter Biden because you're not going to hear about it on CNN.
Right.
But
they poo-poo it like it's not a big deal. And the point is, it might not be specifically like this is going to change the election, but that what was going on was the FBI was paying Twitter to repress stories. The Twitter itself was repressing Republicans. Huh? Yeah, there was some. That's what a lot. I just heard that recently, so don't quote me on it. Go search for yourself.
I've said it before. This shows up. There's no reading, no research, just strong opinions. That's that's how this show.
It's not even my opinion. It's somebody else.
Again, you don't have to caveat that.
But it doesn't surprise me. When I saw YouTube censoring doctors during the pandemic that were also just coming up with their own opinions based on what they're doing with their own patients, yet they would repress that video and post that one. That's one nothing more I need to see. That shows you they had an agenda. They wanted this doctor to be this guy, the Stanford University professor. All of a sudden, he's an idiot because he's telling you that we should probably not close schools, and you just repress him because you want to close schools.
Yeah, that's what I always worry about. To what end are they doing that? Like I don't understand the benefit.
Well, this was the end. This guy, for example, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, for example, very intelligent man. I don't have any loyalty to him. He's not like a Canadian Jewish person. I have to,
But you once had sex with.
No, he's an Indian man, American. I think he's Indian. And he's very intelligent, and he was on the news very worried about things. And instead of listening to him, super qualified doctor, they just repressed him and put him on, and didn't make his post public and then it came out. So now he's on and he could have saved lives. He could have made things better. And the point was at like other societies have learned, like in Sweden that didn't close their schools, this wasn't the right thing to do.
Well, it wasn't affecting children in that way. No. I mean,
but America's all in on fear. Fear, fear, fear. Non-fear. Can't stop. Fear, fear, fear.
That's how they get you out. That's how they make you vote against your own interest, essentially. They try to intimidate you into like, the virus is the worst thing since fucking
I was watching
HIV.
a video on Instagram about this guy was a gun expert, was talking about how wrong they are with the gun narrative about registration and background checks. He's like 95% of all the shootings that the registration thing would not have mattered at all. No. But the person was registered. It was like some person's got problems and access to a gun.
Do you know that they have laws on the books that already have like that they just don't enforce? Like there are already laws in the books that they just don't enforce. So it's like they're trying to restrict guns even more when they're not even enforcing laws that would have a statewide registration for like California doesn't know where all their fucking guns
No,
are.
but we have to be registered. You have to be registered. You can't just go and buy a gun.
Of course
they do
not.
a background
Of
check.
course
You have to
not.
wait 2 weeks. So, hey, my guns are like condoms. It's better to have one and not need it than need one and not have it. Right?
But if you got a gun, you don't need a condom.
Or if you have tell the robber, hey, I have a condom. Can I just fuck you instead of shooting you?
If you want to think about it like that, if you have a gun, you definitely don't need a condom.
Here's where I am, Randy. I just don't like lies. I mean, wherever the truth is, wherever that is.
Do you watch a lot
I'll
of
sit there.
watch a lot of cable news though? Do you immerse yourself in it?
Oh yes, I do like.
You got to pull out a little bit from that.
Oh no, for sure. But I watch. But I'll also get my news from different feeds I've signed up for. I'll also check out things I don't agree with.
Yes,
I'll watch.
Nobody listens to a story they don't like. It's like, dude, I please tell me something I don't know about.
But my skills in life are reading people. Like I'm good at it. I feel like
part
I
of the
can
job.
tell. Yeah, it's part of the job. It makes you good at comedy. But I just can tell sometimes people are fully lying and that's fully making their narrative.
My favorite are the
talking
lies that I don't get where the benefit is. Like those are the conspiracy theories that make me laugh, like the flat Earth type of thing. Like, where's the money? Like, who's making money on
We're
flat
talking
Earth?
about the border. What's the benefit of the border?
Well, see,
what's the benefit?
I think it's because it's. I think the liberals want to keep it open, essentially,
Just like you said,
to look like a good
they have
guy.
a problem.
Yeah, so they have a problem that they say they will solve, but never do solve. Right. So by Republicans repealing Roe versus Wade, they've lost a wedge issue that their voters vote on. Their voters didn't show as much enthusiasm in the midterms. But because now there's a wedge issue for the Democrats because they took that right away constitutionally, they had a wedge issue to go out and vote for. If liberals don't fix the border, they can always run on the border crisis.
Right.
If they fix the problem, they run out of a crisis.
Well, they definitely ran on the abortion thing, and then that's what makes them win because every girl's gotta have an abortion. Just abort.
Hey man, I'm pro-abortion.
I'm pro.
I'm not even pro-choice. I'm pro-abortion.
Yeah, like we should get an abortion now, even though we don't even know you're pregnant. No, this is my absolute Democrat side. I'm absolutely for a woman's right to choose. There's not even a question about that. Yeah. But it gets a little weird when you start protesting with like dangling babies from your womb and that shit. And like I asked my girlfriend who she said she thinks too that they really pushed that and that's what people were running on. It was very important to them, which is why they had a strong showing in the last election. But I always try and convince my girlfriend to have unprotected sex. I'm like, why not have that card? What's the point of having that card if we're not going to play it?
We fought for the right to
man.
abortion.
That's how you get pregnant.
I voted for the right to have an
store.
abortion in the state of California, and damn it, I'm going to use it.
My joke was, here's what you should allow. As long as if one state doesn't allow abortion, but the state next to allows abortion, if the car from this state goes to that state, as long as it have the license plate from the state that allows abortion, if you do the abortion in the back seat of that car,
mobile abortion,
then it's legal.
The car's registered in California. I just drive to Arizona and perform abortions.
Watch this. It can be called an abortion. No, too soon. Come on, guys. Think about it. So many fucking pregnancies happen in the backseat of a car. It's only appropriate they get removed in the backseat of a car.
Exactly. Once the state-by-state thing started to happen, I was like, you know what? Maybe Greyhound should merge with Planned Parenthood and just and provide shuttle service.
You can have
a full service.
How about a punch card?
Yeah.
Like, the fifth abortion's free. Like just stamp dead fetuses on it.
It'd be like Universal Studios. You get a fast pass. And
oh, is this not funny, ladies? Yeah, we know.
That's the other thing too. Women are like, men keep your hands off women's bodies. I assure you, men are as pro-choice as women are. Like, they don't want those kids either. You know how many men have unwanted children? Most of them.
Yeah.
Most men have unwanted. If they have kids, they're unwanted.
I don't have a kid, but I do get nervous on Father's Day when the telephone rings.
Papa, you got the wrong number. I like how you made him French Canadian.
It's like European. Papa. It's me, Sven.
Were you ever married?
No.
No? You ever get close?
Not really.
You had to think for a second. Well, that one guy.
I think marriage is very important if you're gonna have kids.
It's for kids. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't think if you're not trying to have kids, I think marriage is kind of.
I think it's not important. But I just think overall, for sure,
your girlfriend might be listening. He's just not into it.
No, I mean she's been married before. I'm just saying that it's like it's more the family unit thing.
Did you want to have kids? Is that like something
I think I did, and then after the pandemic, I was like, "Whew, thank God." Thank God I don't have kids.
I thought I did.
God, and there's because every kid's so important now. What have we done with our children? You know,
They're more important than the adults.
Sorry.
You know, like it's.
well, we just make it used to be, here's the world, find your place in it. Now it's like the world has to find its place in you, and it's like that's not true. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like figure out what you're gonna do, decide what to be, and go be it. You know, there's a song lyric like decide what to be and go be it, and I believe that. And I found a calling, like whether or not you're so successful, have so much money. I don't know. I think finding something that you want to do keeps you occupied, keeps you focused on something. Then you don't always play that perpetual victim too. Coming back to our victim thing,
It keeps out the negative thoughts if you're busy.
Yeah, if you did what you want to do, you don't have regrets that you didn't try something. Like I don't know. I just feel. I come from a very functional environment. A lot of people are doctors, lawyers, businessmen, and I didn't want to be there. It wasn't for me. So I'd rather be an artist in like Hollywood struggling to pay my bills.
I also think the world panders to kids too much now, at least the United States in particular. Like,
well, that used to be helicopter parenting. Now it's bulldozing parenting.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
bulldoze a space.
Yeah, like you'll ask, like I'll see fucking parents. Are you ready to go, Timmy? Ready to go? Get in the fucking car. No one ever asked me if I was ready to go. Yeah. Then there was people, parents negotiate with their kids now. It's
are you ready to cut off your dick, Timmy? I know you made the best decision for you. I know you can't get a tattoo till you're 18, or you can't vote or join the military, but you're probably connected to yourself enough to know you should probably cut off your dick.
It is pretty crazy that the same parents that are like so anal retentive about what goes in and out of their kids' bodies, like don't give them peanuts, he might get an allergy, all this shit, are the same parents who seem to be super willing to give them hormone suppressors. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe expose them to peanuts and keep them away from the hormone suppressors.
I don't know exactly who's listening to your podcast, but let me just say, like, puberty blockers.
It doesn't sound
Someone's
healthy.
doing this for real. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Look, I don't think it's wrong to allow your kid when they're adults to decide however they want to live their life. But if they're 7 years old, you shouldn't have them on medications they don't need. Like
cutting off your body parts before they've even developed, when you don't even know yourself. Do you think you knew yourself at 5, 6, 17? Maybe I know myself at 30.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I feel like you should have a license to get married before 30, let alone change your gender.
I actually think those things are not wrong. I totally agree with that. I mean, literally, you can't vote and join the military to a certain age, but you want to let 5-year-olds decide.
Dude, in the state
Mommy, I want to cut off my penis.
In the state of Massachusetts, they tried to pass a referendum where kids could vote at the age of 16. Could you imagine a 16-year-old making an adult decision? Like,
no, but why are
selecting their congressman or senator?
But why are kids so dumb too in this country? Why are they right now that everyone's like, oh, we're all the same. You just gotta love is love. Just like this.
That's a weird thing too. Like we're all the same,
shit. And I'm more of a hippie. I'm big on the hippie movement, but
that's an interesting point though. Like we're all the same, but everyone wants. But you have to respect everyone's differences. Well, which is it?
Yeah.
I
think you respect.
I think we all should be have equal rights and be treated equally under the law. But the beauty of it is that we're not all the same. We all have different things.
There's some biological things, but we have to be treated as individuals.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Desires,
you have to be like I said. You have to You have to be equal under the law and treated the same. But that doesn't make you the same. It's cool that people are different. That's why I have friends, because they're different than me. Because I get tired of hanging out with myself, so I hang out with somebody different.
Yeah.
Like that's the joy of life.
I didn't like hanging out with people like me.
Exactly.
Are you kidding? We're too similar almost. I need like calm people that like relax out.
Exactly.
I'm a little volatile.
Yeah, I could be cynical and negative. That's why I hang out with fucking happy-go-lucky types, because I'm not that. I'm not a ray of sunshine. I'm the black cloud. I'm the black cloud coming over.
I'm not a ray of sunshine. Yeah, I'm a black cloud coming over. It's time for some vengeance, bitches.
Yes, exactly.
I was like that kid in class where the teacher used to make me go sit in the hallway to think about what I've done. I'd always go in the hall for like 10 seconds and come back. Yeah, I thought about it. That shit was funny. Come on.
It was great.
Then I got suspended, so don't do that, kids.
Were you a bad student or were you pretty good?
No, I honestly, I was not a bad kid, like a bad kid. I was a troublemaker, but I wasn't bad.
Okay.
Like I was like
you weren't beating up kids.
Teachers were like, "Fuck you, Adam. Go to the principal's office."
Yeah.
Like my mother.
Too talkative.
And you know what? I knew at a young age that I was smarter than my teachers. Like I knew that they were all full of shit. And there was a couple. I remember getting kicked out of a class, and I went to the principal and go like, "Honestly, sir, like she's crazy." And he was like,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Just don't worry.
I've had
about
that
it.
moment
Stay
before
out
as
of
a student.
class. Go back. To
I've had that
later,
moment.
not a big deal.
Play nice. Hey, just,
Yeah.
I've had that.
My mother was called into the
just stop
principal's
getting-
office, and the
Give
principal
her a break. I'm like, all right, for you, since you asked nicely.
Totally.
Give her a break.
Yeah, I was a kid. But when my mother was called into the principal's office, and the principal proceeded to tell her that he thought I was going places.
Oh, nice.
I mean, he was wrong, but
It was the highlight of
it
your
was a nice
childhood.
incentive, or yeah, insinuating. Yeah, and then it's just sort of like who we are. Like as comedians, it's like the kind of the knowing of things and the reading things. So it's like I didn't know that was the skill then, but
Yeah.
like when I thought this teacher was full of shit,
Yeah.
and I grew up realizing, yeah, they're probably full of shit,
I wonder if people who are full of shit know they're full of shit. Like, what percentage of them do you think like know they're full of shit and just and
Well, there's the real manipulators, I think, that like are actively, which is what Hollywood is filled with, which is actually if I can critique myself. I mean, of course, no one's perfect. Everyone's got problems. But one of the things I feel like I am not good at, in a way, is like I don't think you're lying to me. Like I can't assume you're lying.
you assume they're being
I can tell when people
you.
are full of shit, and I read that.
Yeah.
But some people are so good at lying and pretending something that I sometimes have in the past have made mistakes.
But that's
like trusting a person or an agent that says they're going to do things.
That's
for
always
me.
difficult though too, because you don't want to lose the ability to be trusting of people because it's an important and it's a helpful quality and makes you a better person. Like if you're not always assuming everyone's out to get you and you got to fuck them first, it makes you a nice guy.
Yeah.
So you don't want to lose some of that. But that is like something I wonder about out here. Like I think the people out here are so full of shit they believe their own bullshit. Like back east, back in New York, people are full of shit, know they're full of shit, and you can tell they're kind of they're kind of conning their way through. Out here in LA, I think they really believe the bullshit they're saying, which is scarier. Like it's in some ways like they're delusional.
And you also never know who's going to be the person that helps you out or a person to work with. And you don't have to like everybody you're working with.
Yeah, but you want to be professional. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you know they're like, I've had situations like, even my girlfriend says you should never burn bridges. And I'm like, I agree with you. But like after a certain point, when you know that every time you go down this road, it only leads to
stop throwing good money after bad. Yeah.
So I say, a little bit of piece of advice, be practical about this and don't just go around burning bridges.
Yeah.
But I say sometimes, not only do you burn a bridge, you blow it the fuck up.
Well,
you know to never go down, because every time I go down that road, I end up getting to that bridge and I fucking fall for it every time. Sorry. Fall for it every time. So if I blow up the bridge, I know that it's not there, then I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, but sometimes not even blowing up a bridge. Sometimes it's just standing up for yourself and saying, I'm not going to let this person manipulate me again. No. Why? Because you lied to me last time. I'm not doing it again. You're calling me a liar? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Like,
But
you lied to me. That's what happens when you lie.
With agents or producers or people that promise me all these things, like a comedian friend that says, oh, I'm going to get you on this, I'm going to get you to do this. And you're like, okay, great, okay. And then I ask once, okay, hey, what about the thing? Oh, we're working on it. And then I ask again, hey, what about the thing you're going to do? Hey, what about that thing? Hey, what about that thing? Hey, 10 years. What to that one day that the person helps you out, 20 years in by giving you that one $300 gig? It's not worth it. It's not worth it to like suck up to them for that whole time, pretend like.
Yeah, they kind of treat you like a fucking, like a goddamn unpaid intern for too long.
Well, you have to pick, and then that's another situation where you pick your battles. Like I'm not talking about if it's a good friend that says, oh, hopefully one day, if like they're good friends and good to you, that's different. But if like someone is like not even that good to you, or it's annoying dealing with, and they keep promising, it's like I've had to move on from people because it's just not.
Yeah.
No. And I've also said to people about working with them or trying to make something. Like I'm trying to produce these comedy movies and bring back old school comedies.
Nice, dude. The 90-minute comedy, the fucking...
Yeah, the ones that made us laugh, like Porky's and Fast Times and Animal House. And I actually said to the producer that I just want to make sure you want to do this, right? Like...
Yeah, the movies I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is something that you want to do, not just like you're, working with us until a better offer comes and you leave. Like this is important to you, and that's important to me. And I really believe we can get it done. I know it's a daunting task making movies, but I think the right pieces are in place. That if I keep doing that, keep putting them together, then I'll be able to do it myself.
Yeah,
without relying on other people.
Yeah,
to swoop in and take care of you and do it for you.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, and there's definitely a market for that. But let me ask you, that's you've been here for 20 years. It just occurred to me, like, so you moved straight from Toronto here?
Yeah.
So so your entire American experience is living in Los Angeles.
Yeah, actually, my entire has been living in Los Angeles. I mean, I traveled enough and been around.
So what do you miss about Toronto, like about living in Canada, and what do you prefer here? Like, is there something that like oh, Toronto's way more like this, and I wish LA was like that? Is there something that, because you've been here for 20 years, I mean, it's got to be, East Coast, West Coast is very different. I can't even imagine Canadian lifestyles. I mean, you had fucking
It's a
free
good
healthcare.
question. It's not, yeah, but it's bullshit. Like it's free, but you still got to, if you pay for certain things, you're going to get better coverage, get better care. They really try to not do the like surgery you need. Like, oh, you got a surgery free. Okay, well then you're gonna have to wait 8 months. Like I need it now. It's like, I'm sorry. But if you pay for it, you're like, oh, you need surgery? Okay, let's do it today. You know, like that's how America works. I think the best answer I can tell you, first of all, the weather in California is huge. It's a better lifestyle.
I'm convinced it's why we put up with the taxes and all the bullshit here.
Yeah, the opportunity.
The homeless are terrible, but the sun is out.
Yeah, the opportunity. I actually say about LA that for all the bullshit and the nonsense in the city, nobody discusses that this is the biggest artist colony in the world by far. No, not even compared to any other place. All my friends are comedians, writers, actors, producers, and I like that. Yeah. I'd rather talk about entertainment. I'd rather talk about making a movie or making stuff happen than talk about stocks and golf and babies. You know, it's like it's boring as fuck. Not for me.
The driest thing.
Yeah, not interesting in me.
Yeah, especially your kids. Fuck your kids.
But to answer the question for real, like I guess I miss my family sometimes. Yeah. My best friends growing up, like you have, like we'll always have those buddies that we've known since we were 8 years old. Will always be our friends. So I do miss that camaraderie, even though I've met people here that become just as close to me, and then we're close for real reasons, like genuine interests in things, like stand up or entertainment or
we hang out, everybody might.
Totally. But so the thing though is like when my grandmother passed away probably 11 years ago, and she was my favorite person in the world, and that was important to me when she was around. I missed that. Always wanted to go to Toronto. Always wanted to see her. Felt bad that I was missing her, so would go there 2-3 times a year. Made sure I saw her. When she died, Toronto snapped for me. Okay. It has been totally different.
How are you so close to your grandmother?
Because she was the best person.
Because I was really close with my grandfather who passed a couple years ago.
She was just the best.
And he was like
she's just a bubby. She's all love, all love, all support. So sweet. And
was she totally behind you doing the comedy?
100%
which I'm sure is because I know you come from a professional family, which is like, Adam wants to go this direction when we're all over here.
Totally supportive.
She was super into
It's just that all like the unconditional love really that you get from your grandmother. Like, you get it from your parents. My parents love me, but it comes with judgment or this and that. Yeah. But the bubby thing, it's Canadian, that's Jewish for grandmother, is she's just the best. So when she was gone,
old people like that
changed for me. That was the difference. Yeah. So I go back there, and that part is missing for me because she's not there. Yeah.
And then something I loved about my grandfather too that I think you'd appreciate, given your relationship with your grandmother. They just had such a perspective on life. Being that, I'm sure she was 80s or 90s, like
they've seen 96 also. Yeah, a great life.
Long life. My grandfather's 88. My grandmother's still alive. She's 92.
That's great.
It's the perspective they have on after having seen so much shit is so pragmatic and practical and so like refreshing.
And then they get to a point where they're just you pass a certain point where it's just like you're judgment free. You're just it's not worth it to fight. So I think they get to know that. And I don't know what age that happens. It's probably like 75 on, or maybe
I wonder where it kicks in. I want to get there sooner. I want to figure out how to get like my mental space.
But life is better with grandparents.
Oh yeah,
like it is a thing. And even I see my parents act as grandparents to my nieces and nephews and see that's the difference. The relationship is like, again, no judgment, all love, and it's not this like parenting. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that?
They're not putting that parent thing on you where they're trying to make up for their mistakes on you. Your grandparents already did that with their kids.
Yeah.
So like I'm done screwing up one kid's life. I'm just going to enjoy these grandkids now.
and my parents know at least. I didn't want to keeping up with the Joneses shit and do the same thing that everybody else was doing. I think they appreciate that, and I've done well. I've been on TV enough, or I've worked enough that I'm not asking them for anything. Like, what do they give a shit? I'm surviving by myself. I mean, there's been some ups and downs. There's been some things that drove me down, but like you rise up.
Fighting.
Yeah, I actually have this little analogy. I talk about like life, and I go, there's just kind of like two kinds of people. Like, we go along, we pursue, we achieve, we move forward, and sometimes we fall into a hole. It all depends on how you're going to react once you fall. Yeah. Sometimes you go over someone's hole, and they're just lying there, repressed, cuddled up, and they're not going to fight to get up. Like that's who they are. Then you see another hole, and the person's just clawing their way to get back up, like doing whatever it takes to figure themselves out, to not be in this hole, to not be a victim, to achieve and successful. And I think,
You'd rather be the latter than the former.
I'd rather be the latter than the former. But actually, if you go to me, I'm in the third hole where you look down. I'm just there snarling, walking around, go, you better not let me out of this hole or I'm going to kill every last one of you motherfuckers.
You come over to me, I'm digging the hole.
Right? That was my analogy. Like, that's where I am. Like, you fucking son of, like, I'm not even just more like, I'm ready. So, like, life doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not afraid to fail, to achieve, and to do things different. You know, I'm trying to do different things, and that's more important to me. I'd rather, like, even talking about making that movie, I'd rather, like, at this point, like, leave something where a movie goes on for years after you, or your act goes on, you know, after you're done.
You have a little bit of a legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, you know, climbing out of a hole, since this is going to be coming around New Year's, I think either the week before or the week after, because I think it's on the weekend. Do you do the New Year's resolution thing?
Not really.
Yeah, thank God. I feel like LA is such a vision board happy, you know, my 2023 goals, and it's like, do people just live life anymore?
Yeah. I never really had something like that. Has to be one.
I'm guilty of it too. Listen, I don't have a vision board or anything like that, but like, you know, I like to think I lead a self-examined life, and I try and figure out what's going on in my head and what I want and my goals and values and all that. But there's so much emphasis in this town on, like, you know, getting ready for the new year and charging your crystals and get your vision board. And I want to, these are my fucking 12-point plan. It's like, man, just go out and do something.
Yeah, well, think about
anything. Do one thing.
Think about if you're a Catholic or very religious. You can just fuck up all week and just go to church on Sunday and apologize and everything's fine, you know? So, like...
I guess if you're secular, you got to have
you can always
big moment.
Yeah, you can always figure... I believe like a fresh start. Like, you always feel it. Like, you know, you feel like you're going down, like to the end, and then...
End of the year, back to the top,
you start back up. And I got a bunch of things going on, so I'm excited about...
Nice.
But the truth is, it's just a different month.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's changing.
Yeah, arguably every day is the beginning of a new year.
Nothing's changing. And you know, I guess like getting older, try to eat like a little healthier. So it's like, but I do that anyhow. Like I'm not even. One of my things is just not drinking a soda every day or 2 days.
Yeah.
Like I'll have a soda.
My 2023 goal is to get a bigger dick.
Yeah, that happened to me after the COVID vaccine.
Get my dick to grow. Wow, I want that vaccine. Johnson and Johnson and Johnson. Is that what
That's actually the black vaccine. Johnson and Johnson and Johnson and Johnson and Johnson. Oh, can you say that? You're not allowed to say that. You know what? My message for people that are fucking complaining about shit, just work on yourself, man. Enough is enough. If words and someone's other opinions are going to affect you, you're losing. You're losing in life if someone hurts your feelings so badly, like with their opinion.
It's honestly, it's a little bit more. Mine isn't even like my recommendation to them is just lighten up, because you're tormenting yourself. Like, you're making yourself unhappy with these constant thoughts of victimhood and I'm attacked. It's like,
being a victim.
You're being miserable. Like you feel bad about yourself when you think of yourself as a victim. So stop doing that.
But, those are people that don't want to put in the work, either the work to be successful or the work on themselves.
The work is do what's wrong with themselves emotionally. I mean, I think it's a lot of times it's probably less so that they're not capable. I think it's that they're not emotionally structured to deal with the problems that they have. Like, people are plenty capable. I mean, we've seen that throughout history. Like, how many times have you heard of a guy, you know, his legs crushed in a hiking accident and he crawls out at fucking 9 miles? Totally. Like, people survive. Like, human beings are capable of a lot. Any individual human being is capable of a ton.
And terrible things.
You emotionally have to get over your bullshit to do it, though. You know, you have to stop thinking of yourself that way. A lot of the times.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to be victims.
Well, because now it's currency. And now you get to be a star if you're the biggest victim in a weird way. You know, look at me. You know, look at me. Aren't I sad? It's like, well, why should I be sad for you? What about my problems?
Yeah, victimese, the language of the victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't want to feel bad like that. And again, you got to work on yourself. Have you ever heard the expression, or it's like that line? It says that like strong men create great times create.
Oh yeah. It's a difficult time.
Weak men create difficult times.
Yes.
Difficult times create strong men.
Yeah,
and it goes something like that. I don't know if I got the verbiage exactly.
But it's difficult times make strong men.
It's something
the crux of it. It's true. Like, adversity brings out the. I mean, that's how evolution works, right?
Well, why are they trying to kill the straight man? Like, why are they trying to kill the man? Like saying, like, men build buildings and win wars. You know, now it's like we're trying to emasculate everybody.
That's going to come back to haunt society.
100%.
You know, because I mean, like, it's been little.
But look at West Hollywood. Look where we live. It's like some of these guys, the most feminine men I've ever seen, like the soy boys or whatever they're calling them these days. Like, what are you doing to yourself? And then you're saying, like, how are you not
A double
why your
Floyd boy with a
relationship,
trans cinnamon
why your
twist?
relationship struggling? Because the girls don't want to be with a guy who's like a little soy boy, is not a little bit masculine, doesn't feel like she can protect the home or anything.
Well, she also just wants a guy who has passion and drive about something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what women are most attracted to. I feel like is potential and passion. That's why guys with money and guys who play in a band but are killing it at the punk show both get a ton of pussy.
Well, confidence is huge too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
I'm saying, having passion about something builds confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. You want to get into a little news, buddy, before we wrap it up
let's
here?
do it.
I have a couple fun ones.
This has been fun. I mean, we're right in Hollywood.
I know, right? We're on the hill.
It's Hollywood. What would Holly do?
All right, this is great. So I caught my bridesmaids groping my husband in the wedding pics, and here's what happened next. This is a real story.
She caught her bridesmaid.
Yeah. A newly married woman named Heather Lynn is virally blowing up after her bridal party member got handsy with her husband, and she caught it in the photos. There's a picture of them posing next to her bridesmaid, who was apparently grabbing her new husband's crotch. She noticed this when she got the wedding photos back. 18 million views. Let's see what she did. I want to know what she did.
Maybe she shouldn't throw the bouquet. She should just shoot it out of a cannon at the girl's face.
She said, I guess I'm getting a sister wife, and I guess they're considering turning it into a throuple. Your face.
He goes, in theory, that sounds good, but I don't think that works. Can you imagine going that far along in your relationship only to find out then that
I mean,
both those
she's
people
grabbing his cock.
Well, why is she doing that?
Yeah, I'll put it on the.
Is she doing it as a joke though?
I hope. I mean, even as a joke, why would you grab somebody else on the wedding day? And I don't know. From the looks of the picture, the bridesmaid's hotter than the bride. I mean,
you should reevaluate your choice there, husband.
Maybe move it along, buddy. Maybe move on to the next.
I don't know, but that's the answer to me is people are such fucking trash. Let's be honest. That's not the right time to do that.
No. And look, I've said this before because I've had female dating coaches on who were talking about polyamorous relationships. It's like, if you want to be in a polyamorous relationship, why don't you just be single? Right. It seems way easier. I'm dating a bunch of women at once.
Yeah. Well, the problem with dating 8 women is that you're dating 8 women. You have to deal with 8 of them.
That's true. And then you're like, you have to have sex with 8 of them. By the time you're done with 2, you don't want the third.
God. Yeah. Once the balls have been drained, that's when you should be thinking clear. That's why every woman should jerk off their husband. Oh, you're going out for another day? Oh, okay, well, before you go, let me just do this. Yeah, all right. You're going out to the bar? Yeah, before you do, I'm not letting you go out with a loaded gun. Yeah, that's right, baby.
Exactly.
Okay, there you go. Come on, come to mama. And then you go, okay, I'm going out. Yeah. And then how you go out that night?
Exactly. He ain't going nowhere. Guys do make bad decisions with heavy balls. I always say that. Never make a difficult decision with heavy nuts. You got to empty those out before you make a good, clear-headed decision.
Something to be said about that.
Absolutely. All right. All right. I'll give you the choice. Do you want to talk about Lizzo being hurt for claiming she makes music for white people, or do you want to talk about how the Cambridge Dictionary changed the definition of a man and a woman?
I'd like to talk about both of them, but let's start with Lizzo.
Okay.
First of all, is anyone attracted to that? I'm sorry. I don't give a shit that you're
There
fat
are guys
and black.
out there, which God bless.
How about being talented? You know who also was fat and black? Aretha Franklin. And you know who's awesome? Aretha Franklin. You know who's not? Lizzo.
Dude, I said this the other day. I feel like Lizzo and Muhammad are the only 2 people on earth you can't trash. For whatever reason, you can't say anything disparaging about Lizzo.
I don't find her music good, and I'm not attracted to it. What happened to people being attractive on television? I want to see people that are better than me. I don't want to see the girl. I don't want to see the girl from Girls,
Old
whatever her
school.
name is, Lena Dunham, who's super gross. I want to see people that I'm attracted to. That's why you turn on television. And if you try to make the TV for average people, it's not for me, man. And they've really worked to do that. And if someone's really good, that's one thing. But man, I don't really get it. And they're really pushing for that.
Yeah,
and I always use Aretha as the example because she's not typically beautiful, but fuck,
She's
what
the
a
best
voice.
voice.
The
Yeah.
powerhouse. So nobody cares.
Yeah.
You don't have to push somebody. But when Catherine Zeta-Jones came on the screen in Zorro, you're like, You know, like she's stunning. So there's a difference of people, and I don't know. This is a whole thing. We all know what's beautiful. We all know in our eyes what's attractive. Even the chubby thing, someone who's really large. I think we're not shaming them because we're not attracted. Like you could be attracted to that.
Sure.
I just think instinctively we know what's healthy and not, and we know that naturally that's not healthy.
My thing with it, she shouldn't be mocked for being fat.
No, but she shouldn't.
But she should be
promoted.
celebrated for being unhealthy. It's like, look at her, she's fierce, she's brave. She's not brave for getting heart disease.
She's not going to be 85 and look like that.
Yeah, she's not brave for getting heart disease. It's sad.
Show me a fat
really
person
sad.
above the age of 80. Show me a huge person above the age of 80. Really?
Yeah,
like you see anyway?
Yeah. I want her to live. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean.
I just don't want her to die of heart disease.
If I knew 1 second of her song that I thought was good, I wouldn't even have this conversation. You know, I don't know much about her, and But
apparently, so she says, Lizzo issued a rebuke on Monday to critics who accuse her of making music that only appeals to white people. An allegation that she raised in a recent documentary. She feels like it's demeaning, and she says, I think if people did any research, they would see that there was race music and then there was pop music. And race music was their way of segregating black artists from the mainstream because they didn't want their kids listening to that music.
No one's separating black people. Black people have been singing. They've been dominating
crushing
the charts,
music.
100%. Yeah. We done all of Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder and Bob Marley and Gladys Knight and Lionel Richie and the Supremes. The list goes on and on of like who the best musicians are. And the best rapper's white. So
But I mean, it's funny that like because her music is pop music. She makes pop is fucking super popular. She's the third highest selling artist out right now. It's like, oh, her music's too white. It's like, well, then how can she win? Like black people love her, white people like her music, but too many white people like her music. She's not black enough now. All of a sudden, Lizzo is not black enough.
The racism is so boring. Also, can we just stop with the race? Can we just start hating people for who they are? Like I don't give a shit about your skin color, your gender, your race. I don't like you for you, for like who you are deep inside. You're the problem, not your fucking race. Own it, man. Own it.
Can we start hating people not for the color of their skin, but the content of their character?
Yeah. Right? It's exactly
the opposite.
That. The opposite.
I want to hate people not for the color of their skin, but the content of their character.
I ask you to judge a man not by the color of the skin, but hate them by the content of their character. Sure. I'm an equal opportunity offender, you know? I treat all my friends the same.
Exactly.
My gay buddy the other day told me he was going out on a date. I'm like, oh, yeah? What's her name?
It is true, dude. I've said that 1,000 times, man. You get to trash the people you're closest with because you're closest to them. You know, like I could make an awful joke about a friend's mother who died years ago because he's a close friend of mine. You know, I wouldn't do that if I didn't love and know him intimately
Asian or whatever. Doesn't matter.
I know him intimately.
The other side of what you're saying, a fucking definition of the word woman, like the gymnastics that people go through. Like, what an insulting thing. You talk about the rise of feminism is supposed to be important. Then now that men can be women. So men are taking all the jobs from women, including their gender. Yeah. Stop it. Just stop it.
That's what's interesting is where do you, because if everyone is playing these victim Olympics, right? You have to, feminism 2.0 is important. Okay, that's important. But, men can be women. It's like, well, then are women, are we supposed to care about their needs now too, or are they not valid? Like,
or why can't it just be a transgender man?
Well, do you think about this?
And then they have a different
think about this. In the LGBTQ, in that moniker alone, gay and lesbian immediately disagrees with the idea that disagrees with the idea that there is no gender. Because men love men in the gay community, women love women. So they admit there are.
It's actually a bad combination, to be honest. I've asked my gay buddy the other why they're associated with transgender. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, gay people, it's pretty. They like the same sex. Straight people like the opposite sex, and transgenders all over the board. It's not the same thing.
Well, it's like what they do with people of color. It's like, so somehow black people and people from Mexico are the same. It's like, wait a minute, they're two completely different cultural. Like even Latin American countries have different cultures.
Yeah.
Like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans are fucking,
and the gay and the transgender, the gay guys are trying to find an extra dick, while transgender people are trying to remove their dick. Seems like a conflict of interest to me. Unless, of course, a transgender person cuts off their dick and immediately gives it to the gay guy. Like, oh.
There should be some sort of market, a trading market. Fuck Bitcoin, trade dicks.
Sausage, hot dog sausage, hot dog sausage, kielbasa. What kind of market is that? Here's the question, though. If you're ever unsure of someone's gender, just ask them a question. If you and I were deserted on an island, could we or could we not reproduce life?
Good question.
Yeah. Whatever the answer is, you'll get your answer.
Exactly. Dude, this was fun, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. How can people find
fun.
you? How can people find you?
Adam Richmond Comedy is my website, and my Instagram is at Adam Richmond Comedy.
You got any January dates coming up you want to plug?
One in San Diego. I'm actually going. The thing I'd plug is I'm going to Japan and Korea on February 2nd to entertain the troops. So
Armed Forces Entertainment. I got to talk.
Not Armed Forces. It's actually a tour that I'm putting together that I met them years ago, and I put together. I did a show called Comedy from the Core at the.
Dude, I've been dying to perform for the troops.
Well, let me see how this goes. Hopefully, at the beginning of a lot of them, I did Comedy from the Core at Camp Pendleton. I filmed this show, and that video kind of sent it out to different military branches, and these people I'd worked with before, and told them when to do a tour. And this is actually the first time they're bringing back entertainment to Japan. It's been almost 3 years, so I'm excited.
I want to go. I want to put the fucking flak jacket on and go to like a forward operating base and do comedy.
Yeah.
I want to.
This one's good. It's safe. It's like no war zone.
But I'm like so into the idea of performing for the troops. Like I want to go. Like I'll go to.
Listen, I'm very interested to see. Excuse me, if everything is still the same, like if the wokeness has an effect in the military or how it has.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm very interested.
Like those guys and gals, they just do the job.
No, I know, but you never know. They're pushing for it. So I met this other guy recently who was like said he was in the Navy and he was super gay. So that everyone in the Navy is like pretty gay these days. But the Navy's
I mean, they've always been gay.
In the Navy, you can sail those.
With the fucking white outfit and the little sash, they've always been gay.
I've always enjoyed entertaining the troops. I don't think this is gonna be any different. I'm just hoping there's not anything that makes it some sort of like.
They tell you can't do this.
Yeah, like I know
it turns into a corporate gig.
If that happened, I'd be very disappointed that the comedy became like that because they fight for free speech. We should be allowed to use it, utilize it when we're entertaining them. Utilize it, especially when we're entertaining them.
For sure.
It's like this is what you're fighting for.
I agree, brother. This was fun, man. Thanks for doing this, guys. Follow the podcast at Ready Set Blow. Follow Adam at Adam Richmond Comedy. We love you guys. We'll check you again in the new year. Peace.
Peace and war.